Welcome to Great Talk and Entertainment. I am your host, KJ, and this is the podcast where I review movies and TV shows from my favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby! Welcome back to the podcast, everyone, aka the YouTube channel. And this is my spoiler review for episode 8, which is the season finale for the new Disney Plus series by Star Wars Skelton Crew. If you have not seen season 1 of Star Wars Skelton Crew, please pause this. But before you go, can you hit that thumbs up button, because that would help my YouTube channel grow, and I would truly appreciate that. Go watch season 1 of Star Wars Skelton Crew. All 8 episodes are out right now, streaming on the Disney Plus. Go watch it, and then come back and check out all my spoiler reviews for episodes 1 through 8, which this is the number 8 spoiler review for this season. So definitely check that out. And then after you listen to that, please tell me how you feel about the new Star Wars Skelton Crew season 1. Tell me your opinions, to your theories, and what do you think about Star Wars right now in its current state. So again, this is a spoiler review. Y'all been warned. Now, let's get into it. Yeet. This episode continues on to where the last episode ended, as John Nodwood seems to work for the new Empire, or he works for somebody that wants a certain information that he is looking for. He has all the kids and parents guarded very well at their own home, keeping in touch, because John Nodwood has revealed that he is a particular captain that has delivered, and he gets a big reward full of old Republican credits, which just looks like really small gold chips, but it's a lot of moolah for him and his pirate crew that he has taken over. And of course, once that burial goes down, we know those pirates are going to invade at Aten, and John Nodwood wants to rule this planet with an iron fist like he does in this episode. And of course, this is the good guy versus the bad guy, and to figure out what's true and what's not, and how much secrets are hidden in Aten. And so we see through this episode that we meet the main creator, the main supervisor, which is a droid. And this droid, of course, is very smart, like most of the droids are in Star Wars, and figures out that John Nodwood is lying. But John Nodwood does the thing with the lightsaber and shanks this giant talking head of a droid. And that's when one part of the barrier of, it's like a shield, is closed down, and that's when Wim finally gets to talk to his father about what's going on and how much danger. And we see this wild adventure as these kids and the parents are trying to fight and win and stop John Nodwood from what he's trying to do. And I liked it. It felt like the Goonies, but with Star Wars. I've been saying that through a lot, but that's the feel of it. And we see the whole planet of and the people, the citizens. They're in danger. They're scared. They don't know what's going on, but they're trying to figure this all out. But then, of course, once Fern's mama finally makes the decision to pull down that lever, to help pull down the lever, as we see through this episode, that everybody's been trying, but of course, John Nodwood knows how to use the Force. He knows how to wield the lightsaber. And, he's a whole different person in this episode, just like he was in episode 7, of course. He's much darker, much evil, more conniving, and he seems like a scumbag. But he gets his way, and the pirates come down. We see this blasting and shooting. But luckily, that Wim has contacted Kim, who contacted the X-Wing fighters, and that's how it goes, right? But as they finally stop that, they finally, on the ship that they were on, or the building, the tower, it started to collapse. And they get on the ship that that Neil or KB gets back, and We thought she crashed. We thought she was done, and it was sad. And you know what's really interesting about that scene too is through this episode, everybody thought that KB, she crashed and burned the ship, but she survived. But these kids learned that, guys like John Nonwood is a very dangerous person, and if you don't play your cards right, other people in your life get hurt. So this is a life lesson of there's a consequence in the heat of the moment, even though you're trying to save somebody, but you trying to be too heroic could get somebody hurt or even killed. And that's what these kids learn in this episode, which I really like, because now what's really cool about this is these kids, when they become adults, and if they're if Disney and Star Wars chooses to use these actors and actresses who played these children while they're actually in real life becoming adults in their lives, obviously, that these could be the future franchise characters, Star Wars characters in future Star Wars films, or maybe more Disney Plus series. You never know. They set it up pretty well, because this whole season was about these kids learning what's life really like in this galaxy, in the Star Wars universe. And we've seen them learning. We've seen them in tears. We've seen them scared, but they're going to become young, mature adults, kind of, maybe not. We don't know. Their story is just begun, and that's how they left this, because even though that John Nonwood stayed on this falling ship that he was on, or a tower, I should say, he stayed, but we don't know if he's dead, because in TV format, if you don't see the body, that character is not completely official dead, killed, destroyed, or gone. So he made escape. But it was a very interesting ending too, because yes, it had the Star Wars ending to it in a classic way that you can see, because we see KB survive, because again, we didn't see the body, but she showed up, saved the day. And I thought it was very interesting too about that ending. It wasn't my favorite ending with John Nonwood, but I like the idea of that he gave up. Okay, he saw the X-Wings, he saw everything going, he saw all his main plan going down, he dropped the laser gun. I think he probably didn't drop the lightsaber because he's too smart for that. Well, no, because Wim had it, my bad. But the point is, John Nonwood, his story may continue on, and we don't know who he's working for. He's working for somebody that's part of the New Republican, or the New Empire, I should say. Sorry, not the New Republican, but the New Empire. And that's been a thing in the Disney Plus series, that there is a new empire. We've seen this in Ahsoka, and we're probably going to see this in season 2 of Andor for sure. I would not be surprised. A little bit more information on that. So there's something cooking. There's like a big payoff I see. And Skelton Crew is going to be, I think these kids are the future, and I know that where it's at in the timeline, but you got to believe that at some point they're adults in like where the Rey Skywalker era is at. So you got to kind of see it. Where is baby Grogu at in this? What age is he? Where's the Mandalorian? Where's Boba Fett? We don't know, but I see how this ending was, but I didn't like it because it was just a simple cliffhanger, and it made it look like it was too much of a happy ending. Now, I'm not complaining about it, but it wasn't my favorite type of happy ending of a Star Wars series, because I want to know what's going to be next more, but maybe there's no real plans for a season 2. But with the critics loving this, I'm loving this. I think there should be a season 2 the way this ended. And so I don't think John Nonwood is dead. So I feel like there could be a season 2 of Star Wars Skelton Crew. So I believe there will be, because I was actually legit shocked that they're doing a season 2 of Andor, I should say, Star Wars Andor, and which I love that series too. but it gets mixed. I remember season one of that had a mixed reaction between the Star Wars fans, of course, from what I read. But I could be wrong. Maybe everybody has changed their mind and appreciate. Me. I got to rewatch season one to refresh my memory and get ready to review season two of Andor when that comes out. So be on the lookout for that. But besides all that, but I really like this episode just because it seems fun. We're looking through a child's eye. It seemed like a crazy adventure. We see the kids riding the little hover or scooter in their neighborhood, getting ready to save the day. They feel like a hero. I think Wim got a big shine in this and showing that he's going to be a real, true Jedi hero. And I think that's really cool, and I think that's very important. But I really think that this show set up for a more future Star Wars projects. I think like a film. I think there's a possibility that there could be a Star Wars Skeleton Crew movie that could hit theaters in the future. That's what I get out of this. And that's what I like about this episode. And I also just love how we see the parents realizing, like, oh man, I've been living a lie. And obviously they love their kids. They just want the best for their own children. And we get that happy feel good moment within this episode too. And I love when I see the X-Wing fighters come. I think they're the coolest thing about one of the coolest things I should say about Star Wars. And I like the idea of like this was such a closed planet that they don't even know if Jedis are real or not, and what's the true story of a Jedi. Like they just don't know it. Like it's crazy. It reminds me of if you ever watched the TV show How I Met Your Mother. There's a character that says the only people who don't know Star Wars are the people in Star Wars, and that's kind of like what it is. Like these people live in Star Wars, but they don't know Star Wars. Like that's what's so cool about this show. And what else I liked about this? It was just as far as just the whole season, I just loved it. I loved season one. I loved the story of this thing. And again, I wasn't a fan of how the ending was, but it's nothing like I'm gonna dwell on about it. But so this to me opens up a lot of opportunities, and there's so many possibilities. So this was definitely a cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger for sure. And I don't know what would happen next, but I gotta believe like if they do a season two, I would think these kids would be more of a young adult. Or maybe they do the teenage route. Who knows? But I can't wait, and I love this series. I really like it. I think one of the things I always like to say is Neil is one of my favorite characters, and I want to see where this character goes in the life of Star Wars for sure. I like Wim. I can't wait to see Wim become a Jedi, and I hope he stays a good Jedi. I hope he doesn't become a Sith Lord. I think, to me, if you're gonna build these characters like this, at least make Wim a real heroic Jedi. Like, don't give him the Anakin Skywalker story. Don't give him the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Don't give him the Ahsoka. He needs to be the Boy Scout. He needs to be the John Cena of Jedis. Like, he should. To me. Always try and do the right thing. If anybody has to go Sith Lord, you go let Fern do that. You let her do that. That's what I think. Or give her the Han Solo story. But I like what they do. Like, just to me, I always got the assumption of from this episode too, particularly, that this is setting up a future franchise with these particular characters, and I'm talking about the children of this show. So I really want to see that, and I'm hoping for the best of this because this was a really good Star Wars series, and I loved it. It didn't have too much, but it had enough to make you want more, and I like shows like that. And that's how you keep the fans coming back, especially a big franchise like Star Wars. So what a great episode. I love the whole cast and the actors and actress. I want to see more John Nonwood. I like the actor who portrays him really well, really great. And I want to see what happens to Ant next. What's next for this planet? It's been exposed. Now the whole world can find it, or the whole galaxy, I should say, can come visit anytime, I guess. But it's very interesting, like who can invade this, and there's so many characters that could invade this, and I'm talking about familiar Star Wars villains, like they're still out there, but it'd be cool. Maybe Palpatine might take a crack at it. Who knows? But I love it. I truly love this, and I want to see more of this. So I'm loving this series. It was really great. But if I had to give this a 1 out of 10, I'm gonna give this an 8 for episode 8. No pun intended. But again, good. Wasn't a fan of the ending of the clip, how they made it a cliffhanger like it. I was hoping maybe a post credit, but I didn't see. I checked over and over. We didn't get no post credit scenes, but I hope there's more. I hope there's more. I think this had a great, decent story as a whole plot for season 1. I really appreciate that. I really think it was a decent plot for season 1. So that's why I'm giving it an 8. It's not perfect, but it has potential to be perfect in a way, if it can ever be perfect. But that's just my opinion on this series. But I loved it. I really, truly, truly loved this, and I love the action, and I love like each of these kids in each episode in this whole season had a time to shine, and we see these children grow and add more layers to these particular characters, and I love that. I love a show that does highlights that type of stuff. And you know, things can change. These characters can change. We don't know where they can go, but there's so many possibilities, and I like that. I love it. I love it, and I love it. But that's my spoiler review, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. And please, please, please listen to my subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. And thank you so much. And hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace out.